Good morning, beloved friends. I'm Reverend Kira, here to continue our series on the 15 commitments of conscious leadership. This is part 3, and we have already begun the process by understanding who are we spiritually that we're choosing to become conscious leaders of our own lives. That as a presence for the Christ consciousness or the divine oneness, the awareness that we're meant to live from, it all is wonderful, but only becomes practical when it becomes a living reality and we lead our own lives from a place of conscious alignment and communion with our infinite highest self. And so this series is really bringing into practical reality the spiritual truth. Unity was founded on the idea of practical Christianity, of taking all the different esoteric beliefs and then looking to the teachings of Jesus and the teachings of the Christ consciousness and applying it in ways that it became an everyday guide for practical living. In ways that are really about awakening and expanding consciousness. So we are here applying these commitments, these principles of truth that align us with a higher expression on an everyday basis. So as we began this series, we looked at what it is to live above the line versus below the line. Below the line is that I am defensive and I'm closed down and I need to defend being right at all costs often. And usually the cost is to our soul growth and to our ability to create healthy, loving relationships and flow in the abundance of the universe. So the above the line living that we're calling forth is we are open. We are open to the flow and to the awareness and the willingness to be in an ever-moving conscious awareness with the universe. And as a result, we become curious. We become very curious about life and about the experience and someone else's perception, which helps expand our awareness and knowledge. And that's why we become committed to learning about all the different ways that life would teach us and inform us and all of the ways that we experience the wonders of this universe. So we live above the line by being open, curious, and committed to learning. And that applies to all of these principles as we begin to take the commitments, the first one being committed to radical responsibility. Radical in my responsibility to myself, but also in holding others accountable for responsibility for themselves. No one ever needs fixed in our understanding of our oneness and wholeness that is alive as the divine, as the Christ, as the spark of creation in each and every being and each and every moment. So it is always an opportunity then to become radical in what's mine to experience. Now, as I do this, I also get to look at my leadership, where I am in the style and the method of leadership that I'm working with. So there are 4 leadership styles, and those are to me, by me, through me, and as me. So to me is a victim consciousness. By me is a co-creative consciousness. Through me, I'm a vessel for the divine. And as me, I am the Christ consciousness. I am the awareness that Jesus brought into the world, and I am a vessel, a presence for that. I am that in all that I am. I don't feel any separation. Most of us are not at that point. Most of us are not really even at the through me consciousness, where I am out of the way and the ego self is truly taking a back seat. Most of us are still dealing with certain levels of victim consciousness. We'd like to think we're not, but both conscious and subconscious patterns, unconscious awareness, live out in us where we play out that I'm a victim and things need fixed. And so we're learning what is it to take 100% radical responsibility for our well-being, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So if I am responsible for my own well-being and I am radically alive in how I live that in this world, not working against anything, but open and curious and committed to learn every moment, then I begin to have a different existence. I begin to experience the flow of abundance in the universe that is always there, and I tap into it. I begin to create a different level of relationship, a connected experience, which we all desire. And yet our fears keep us in bondage, and our old ways of being fearful are related to a victim belief at the core. We don't trust ourselves, and we don't trust the universe. We don't trust God consciousness within us. And so as we begin to expand into 100% radical responsibility as our first commitment, we begin to live with a different view. We take a more expanded view of life and begin to open. The second commitment we talked about was learning through curiosity. Let our curiosity guide us and teach us and become curious every single moment. The third was feeling all our feelings, and that meant feeling them to completion. It means that we allow what wants to be felt. We know it as a body sensation. We experience it as something that then can be released through our breath, through vocalizing, through experiencing it fully rather than projecting it out on someone else. And so as we feel all our feelings, then we become an open vessel and begin to notice within ourselves where we are honoring speaking candidly, which is the fifth commitment. That commitment, or sorry, is it the fifth? It's the fourth commitment. The fourth commitment, speaking candidly, to live in a place where we're operating from truthfulness and accuracy in our language, and really staying with what's inside of us to find what is the truth that we need to speak. So speaking candidly became our fourth, and our fifth was eliminating gossip. When we let go of holding back ourselves or withdrawing or not speaking the full truth, then we also have a responsibility to do that in a way that is really eliminating the gossip in our lives, where we are ever having a negative statement about another or about a situation. And instead, we go to what they call the unarguable truth. The unarguable truth is stated by, I am having a thought, ba, 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 whatever that is. Well, if I'm having that thought, that's unarguable. I'm not saying this is your truth, but this is the thought I'm having. I am feeling such and so. And as I am feeling, that's an unarguable truth. I'm having this feeling. I'm owning my own essence and way of being. An arguable truth recognizes that I'm having this body sensation, and recognizing that helps me identify something that may be not fully in integrity within myself. And that's the seventh commitment we did, was practicing integrity. Where am I in congruence and alignment with my highest self, with the fulfillment of that within me that wishes to know that I am in alignment. I know the truth of what is it that is happening here. And when that body sensation arises, I recognize, maybe something is out of kilter here. So we're being invited this week to take on the next three of our commitments. And we're going to be exploring generating appreciation. When we generate appreciation, we open our being to appreciate and notice the details and the specifics and what makes something have a great value. We actually increase its value by our appreciation in the moment. And that is a perceptual place within us. How do I perceive this that maybe I have diminished or dismissed in some way in the past? So we'll be generating appreciation and exploring that. We'll be excelling in our zone of genius. We'll be looking at a commitment to not just be complacent in the world, not to accept different standards of living in the place that is, we can do things well, but where is our real genius? And the last one we'll work on this week is living a life of play and rest. What if life could be fun? What if we're meant to have this balanced, playful existence and we create that play everywhere we are, every moment? That feels renewing, doesn't it? I hope you'll join us this Sunday at 10:30 a.m. at Unity Bay Area Houston, or on our Facebook live stream at Unity Bay Area Houston's live Facebook page, and explore further this book, The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership.